Welcome to John Richards Jazz Nashville podcast. Glad to have you out here with us. I am in Georgia right now and continuing the series that we started a few months ago. So I hope you'll enjoy what I'm trying to show you, and I'm taking it from a very simple standpoint. So we're getting a little bit more elaborate as we go on. So we were starting a blues situation. So blues is so we were just doing basic chords at first, but now we're going to get a little bit more elaborate with it. So I was telling you, in a B flat or an A flat, it doesn't matter what key you pick. You just have to know the chord forms in that section of a chord structure. With this B flat, I was telling you there was a passing chord, which is F, or it's an F. Now you can hit a seventh like in blues. It's according to what kind of color you're trying to create in the arrangement. So you can go to a major seventh, which would be, instead of doing a regular seventh, you would be doing this. Big difference. You hear the color difference. And sometimes that's, it's all what you hear and feel. Jazz is a feel. It's just like blues, and blues is a part of jazz. So very much a part of jazz. In fact, I was just listening to George Benson the other day, and he was talking about, he got to play with the masters of their craft. Great guitar players and great piano players and great everything. He played with some of the best in the world. And some of their influence led him to where he became what he became. But all those influences, one of them in particular was saying, play some blues in your lines, and that people can understand that. When you get into the progressive part, you play a little blues line with it, like when I went to that. See, that's like the blues, but then another part of it, last time I went like this. Which was a C sharp, D minor to an A 5+9 to a C7 to an F, F6, 5+9. Then you turn it around, which means you do the same chords. Again, you double those changes. A good example of that particular chord structure, that's what they normally call basic blues changes. So it's like, and that's, see, when you tag it, so you see that turnaround, it turns around twice. So you don't just go. In jazz, it turns around, and we'll get more into that. But It's like, I don't know if anybody watches Frasier in the audience here, but that song, that's a good example of those changes I'm using. But once you learn to play those changes, then you'd be able to play that song because it turns around. And that's a lot of jazz tunes do. There's another one that goes like. And then so forth and so on. And then you start jamming on it. That's the melody line of it, though. What we will eventually get into is chromaticism, which means there's no in-between notes, but you have to understand the basics to get to the other side of that. You have to understand the chord, and as George was saying the other day, you have to understand the melody of it. You have to hear that melody of what that song is saying, and the chords that fit with that particular tune. You know, like I got a version of a song. I've got a lot of versions of a lot of songs, but anyway, there's one that starts out as simple as this. You know, it goes. But it doesn't stay that way. Then it goes. See, that's all chromatics, pretty much, you know. See, it's going up and it's coming back down. But that's much more elaborate thing than what we're dealing with right now. We got to get you through the blues and understand the blues. You got to understand blues to understand jazz to a certain degree. I sometimes think that blues players, some of them anyway, didn't go any farther than what they thought they were capable of. But if they'd kept at it and really wanted to keep, like B.B. King could play more than blues, but most of the time, blues was what he got known for, you know, and I'm not saying he was a jazz player, but when I heard him live at the Grand Ole Opry House, he had a guitar player playing with him, and that guy was a jazz player. And it wouldn't surprise me that B.B. was capable of playing some of that too, because he played with everybody anyway. But anyway, back to these changes. These that's where we started from, you know. But then sometimes you've got this too, which means instead of going from a seventh chord like this, you go to a major seventh, but sometimes you go to this. So you see, it's all how you color it. It's all how you want it to sound, you know. And it can sound very melodic when it's done the right way. So, you know, that's... But anyway, so, you know, the guitar, George Benson was even saying, you can't play in a lifetime to learn everything that there is this instrument is capable of giving you. If you give to it, it's like having a girlfriend. If you don't pick it up every now and then and play with it, then you won't have a girlfriend very long. So anyway, and I'm getting into the chord structure because you have to understand the chord structure to understand what to play out of it. I've always played out of chords that I knew until I got into chromaticism, like Matheny and also Pat Martino, who I got to hear live, and I was just so blown away about him, man. And he was such an incredibly great person too, not just a great instrument player. He was both. But anyway, so that'll give you some food for thought, and be sure and subscribe to what we're trying to do here. And I'll be getting more elaborate as time goes on, but I want to stress how important it is to understand these chords. And you can make notes or whatever you want to do, you know, to get it. And if you want to text me or contact me on this site and ask me questions about things, I'll be more than happy to take that into account too. So anyway, we'll see you next time. Thanks so much, and subscribe. This is John Richards out.